Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. So by way of background, folks, the town board entered into executive session prior to the meeting for legal advice with our professionals on future, pending, and current litigation. So we did call the meeting to order at 6. Now this is the public portion of the meeting, and I would ask that everyone rise in just a moment in salute of the flag, followed by an invocation by Father Eric from St. Gregory's on Route 376, and followed by a moment of silent meditation in memory of Thomas Bruckner, who was the former commissioner of the Chelsea Fire District. So, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for this honor to be able to come and do an opening prayer. Let us pray to the Lord. Lord, have mercy. Look down, O lover of mankind, with a merciful eye on all those gathered here, and hearken to their supplication. Bless their good intent indeed, that they may begin favorably and quickly, and without any obstacle finish unto thy glory. Do thou assist the members of this council and direct the works of their hands, and cause it to be brought speedily to completion by the power of their wisdom, and to do good to all of those that they represent. May they work together diligently and with honor, so we may rejoice in all that have done. And send down your blessing upon them and upon all those gathered here. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you again to Father Eric from St. Gregory's and the New Hackensack hamlet of town over in the 4th Ward. Again, as I noted before, the moment of silence was in memory of Thomas Bruckner, former commissioner of the Chelsea Fire District. He joined that fire district when he was 16 years old and gave 40-plus years of service and dedication to that fire district and that company, and was often referred to as the mayor of Chelsea, and I know a good friend to those in the 2nd Ward.
We are going to miss Tommy. We're going to miss him big time. He was always put the community first,
Yes,
always. And God bless his soul, and God bless his family at this difficult time. He's looking down at us, smiling. I know he is.
Yes, yes, he is.
Rest in peace, Tommy.
Yes, rest in peace. And we also directed the flags in front of this building and in Chelsea to be lowered to half-staff in his memory. With that, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Moved by
Adopt the agenda.
moved by Councilwoman Bettina, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Phillips. For the purpose of discussion, I'd like to move Resolution 2024-100 to non-consent. That is the resolution on road paving, and we just have to correct a numerical error on there.
Second.
So, to adopt the amended agenda, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes of March 11th, 2024?
I'll move it. Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. We're opening the public portion of our meeting. This is an opportunity for residents to come and address the board on agenda items only. If you're interested, you have 3 minutes. Come up and state your name and address for the record. Do I have a motion?
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilman Casella. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. Any members of the public wishing to speak on agenda items only?
Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. The public portion is closed. We have one discussion item on for the agenda this evening, and that is processing the application and starting that processing process for Joey Estates and Arcadia Place. I'm going to refer this over to attorney to the town, Michael Lagori, and engineer to the town, Larry Paggi.
So we'll, oh, you have a microphone. Oh. I didn't see that. So Larry and I just want to bring the board up to speed. Recently, the Cedar Hills project was before the board, where the applicant's attorney and engineer made a presentation for a project proposed under 240-50, which is the plan development section of the zoning code. Between that meeting and now, the planning board had determined the lot count for the Joey Estates or the Mid-Hudson project with a lot count of 66 units. And at the last town board meeting, where that was, where the Cedar Hills or Acadia project was discussed, we had given the applicant's representative some direction to satisfy themselves for purposes of water and sewer. Just prior to this town board meeting, Larry, myself, Mike Tremper, Mike is obviously runs CAMO Pollution Control and operates the town's water facilities. We met with Amy Bombardieri, who's the engineer for those two applications, to get an idea of where we stand for purposes of water and sewer for the town. Those projects in concept propose municipal sewer and municipal water. The Cedar Hills / Acadia project is located in both the sewer and the water district. The Joey Estates project, or Mid-Hudson, is located in the sewer district, but not the water district. Some of the items that we discussed were what we know as far as the current state of affairs of Tri-Muni and what is either available or not available to the best of our knowledge as of today, which it's our belief that that there are concerns about sewer availability, the concern of, what capacity is there? Is there any capacity as of today? Is there capacity available in the future? We don't know those answers, but we do have concerns about whether or not there is, based on recent meetings that board members have had. Larry and I are actually going to be meeting with the O&M representatives, the operation and maintenance portion of that board, tomorrow, just to bring ourselves up to speed so that we have an understanding of what's going on for purposes of our existing town residents that are connected for sewer and water. Where this all goes in the context of these two projects is both of those projects require the discretion of the board. Joey Mid-Hudson is a request under 240-19 for an average density subdivision, and under that criteria, the town board would be permitted to authorize the planning board to lessen the zoning requirements. It wouldn't allow them to change the units, but it would allow the planning board to lessen those requirements to have a more consolidated or condensed type subdivision. For Cedar Hills, Acadia, that's under 240-50, that's a planned development district. That also requires discretion of the board under a special permit that they'd have to satisfy a number of criteria, and if they satisfy those criteria, then the board would contemplate either the grant or denial of a special permit. One of the things that Larry and I wanted to be able to do was to be able to give the applicant some direction as to what preferences the board may have as to what they would like to see out on those particular properties, whether it was apartments, townhouses, single-family residential. As of right now, both projects contemplate a mix of either townhouse or condo and single family. So we'd like to be able to provide some insight for the board and give them some direction as to whatever preferences the town board may have. I know I've spoken to a number of you guys offline individually to attempt to, get some sort of polling as to, whether or not there's a preference. But we've never had a point, at least with Larry and I and the board as it's currently comprised, as to, what that is. So as of today, what I can glean, and I guess I'd just be asking the board to confirm this, is what I've gleaned from the board members is a preference to stick as close as possible to the zoning code as it's currently configured without the use of these two sections. As some form of direction, as a preference for single-family residential homes on individual parcels. And if that's something that if I have correct, then I just ask you guys to say, hey, look, Mike, that is something that we, that's our preference for what we would like to see. And that would be able to, based on that, Larry and I would be able to give some direction to the applicant and his representatives as to what the preference is. And then we can move those forward, however that looks like. In the context of Joey Estates or Mid-Hudson, that's the application coming in under 240-19. If the direction is if you want to use that section of the code and you want to come back with some alternatives for us to look at, then do so. Come back and present us, something that we could look at that is a difference between what is a single-family home context under 240-19, and then, potentially a single-family home context under 240-50. So if that's the preference of the board, then I just ask you to confirm that, and Larry and I, as your representatives, will communicate effectively and get that word across to the applicant and his representatives.
Well, as I've stated on the record numerous times and in other conversations, I have extreme reservations and approach these topics with some caution, considering that we don't have all of the facts and all of the information. But yes, what you just summed up was the way I feel. If anything, we need to be sticking to the zoning code. We need to be sticking to that as closely as possible. The projected plan that's shown in the comprehensive plan of medium-density single-family homes, detached, I believe that is the consensus of the board. Of course, sticking to that as much as possible. But again, I have extreme concerns when it comes to water and sewer capabilities, and the overall impact on the community. But yes, you summarized that very well.
Okay, and then I just want to add one thing, just where we are in the current state affairs of the water district. We have a requirement from the health department to provide a source analysis. And Larry, do I have this correct? So they require the updated source report, and is there any other?
So right now, the situation with the water system is that the town has one well down because of I shouldn't say down, one well is taken offline.
Yes.
Because it's got unacceptable levels of PFOS or PFOA, one of those two. It has other wells that are carrying the supply to where it needs to be. Throughout the course of the year, the wells are meeting those requirements, but there's a couple of other wells. There's, I believe, 3 other wells that are also offline for other treatment issues, turbidity and other segment problems with plugging that require frequent maintenance. And in the summer higher use times, those wells are put back online, but they're very intensive maintenance requirements. So the health department has requested the town to evaluate those situations prior to, the health department determining that the system is really capable of continuing to supply what it needs to supply, much less any additional supply. So when Mike and I met with the applicant, we were trying to be very frank and laying out what the real situation is, and that there may be some time where additional improvements may need to be made to the existing water supply prior to bringing some of the projects of this magnitude online.
So I just want to add where that falls in the context of the two applications, okay? So for the Joey Estates Mid-Hudson project, that is not in the water district. So the guidance to the applicant would be whatever project you propose, you're not in the district, you may consider proposing a project that has its own water. And if that's through, digging individual wells, then you're going to have to dig individual wells. The Cedar Hills Acadia project is in the water and sewer system, so it's also very relevant to be aware of what these concerns are, because even if you're in the system, there are some hurdles that we're going to have to get over. And that's the advice and the guidance that we want to be able to provide. That's real-time data and how it affects each of these particular projects.
Thank you. I think that's being very transparent, and
Yeah.
I think it's a win-win for both the town and any developers,
Yeah.
that they have this information.
Yeah, and
So
to
thank
echo
you.
Councilwoman Bettina's comments, again, this is moving it forward. We are processing this, and we are being as transparent as possible to the residents as well as the current conditions here in the town facing us, whether it's Tri-Municipal Sewer Commission or, again, our own water supply. This is, to be quite frank, our way of notifying people and being as transparent and looking out for those who live here. So,
And then, obviously, Larry and I will report back after tomorrow's
Thank you.
meeting.
Thank you.
So that, there's just a public awareness of, hey,
I think it's
What'd
very
you find out?
important. Thank you.
Yes.
I do.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
On behalf of the board, too. I think this is very important. So, thank you both.
very good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along. We have the consent agenda. I'll read the first resolution. Resolution 2024-97, resolution accepting donation to Parks and Recreation Department Summer Camp Division. Resolution 2024-98, correspondence log. Resolution 2024-99, resolution authorizing costs incurred through Executive Order 2024-1. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. The non-consent resolution, Resolution 2024-100, resolution authorizing road resurfacing projects, including repair of curbs and drainage to be paid for via bonding. Do I have a motion?
We need to make an amendment to this dollar amount.
We need to have a motion.
I'll make a
second.
motion.
Yeah. Motion by Councilman Casella,
Second.
second by Councilman Phillips. Discussion. There you go.
Okay, so the amount for the road repair is fine. We have one item here we need to talk about, which is the paving for soccer field. Right now, there's a quote in there, $56,690. That includes labor, materials, not materials, but parts, things like that. It does not include the asphalt. So we need to add an extra $46,800 to the $56,690 in order to make this a true cost, which comes out to $103,492 pave soccer field.
Thank you very much, Councilman Casella. On the resolution as amended,
I so move it.
moved by Councilwoman Bettina, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. And this, folks, by way of background, that moves forward with our road repaving projects throughout the year. We were able to use some funding from a bond that was taken out last year. CHIPS funding will also be applied to this project as well. We have a number of roads that are going to be paved this year, and I can take this time to announce that we will be paving Brandon Place, Cider Mill Loop, Davies Drive, McIntosh Lane, Marlarville Road, Partners Road, Regency Drive, Rowell Lane, Smithtown Road, and Winesap Lane. The way that we come up with this list, we also have one park, which is Soccer Field Drive and Regency Park. But the way that we come up with this formula here is in working with our highway superintendent, Mike Sheehan, and the highway department. We look at the age of the road and the overall quality of the road. Is it cracking? Are there potholes? So on and so forth. For example, the oldest road that's actually on here, Brandon Place, was last paved in 1994. So we usually try to get 20 years out of each road, and as you can see here, we've gotten quite a bit out of them. So we're very excited to start moving along with these road paving projects.
So we're going to pave 4.53 miles this year. I think in the past, we've been trying to average between 5 and 5.5 miles. But again, this is a recommendation from the highway superintendent, so.
10 roads, 10 long roads, too. Yeah. So very good. And thank you again, Councilman Casella, also for working with our team here on moving forward with Soccer Field Drive being paved. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. Being that those are all of the resolutions this evening, it's a light agenda, folks. Items for special consideration and new business. I'll start with, from the Second Ward, Councilwoman Bettina.
I just want to wish everybody a blessed Easter and enjoy your families. And may you find all those little Easter bunny chocolate things that you have hidden. But seriously, thank you. And another shout out to Mr. Brickner's family for the loss during this time. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family. Thank you.
Councilman Phillips?
Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
I heard the Easter egg hunt, I don't know if everybody had a chance to go, was fantastic.
Yes.
And thank you, everyone that came out. I heard you guys, Councilman Casella and Superintendent Mr. Cavassini were quite the rabbit
We tried to get the
helpers.
bunny ears picture of Joey, but we couldn't get it.
But seriously,
no,
thank you. I hope the neighborhood really, the neighbors and the community really had a good time.
It really was great. It
Yeah, I heard it was
reminded a
good.
lot of folks, flashbacks to, Little League opening day and things
Yeah.
like that. It was great to see the park filled with so many people.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you, everybody.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Phillips.
I'd just like to thank Councilman Casella for his work on, out of Robinson Lane. He's got Challenger Field moving forward, light speed, and along with the lights at Martz Field. So I'd just like to thank him for all that work.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
See, that could be nice.
It's the first for everything.
Councilman Casella.
Yeah, so not to repeat, but again, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter coming up this coming Sunday. As Councilwoman Bettina said, we were out at the Easter egg hunt, Supervisor Cavassini and I. About 1,000 kids were out there. It was amazing the turnout at Robinson Lane. We moved the program from Martz Field to Robinson Lane. Looks like that's going to be the venue in the future.
I sure hope so.
Again, lots of eggs, 10,000 eggs out there that we were able to hand out. A number of prizes. I think there was, about 25, 5 bikes and about 20 others.
Yep. And
So-
the prizes were all donated this year. We had an anonymous donor for the bikes. We had a pool being donated by one of our local farms, and a bunch of gift baskets. Very, very
Yeah, so it
impressive.
was a great time, and I'm hoping a lot of people had an opportunity to go out and see it. But again, 1,000 kids, that's amazing. We probably average about 400 or 500 at Martz.
Yeah.
So 2X, very
Thank you to
significant.
the park department and the recreation. Like, you
We also
did
want to
fantastic. Everybody that was part of this did a fantastic job.
Also want to thank all of our volunteers.
Yes.
So we had Grace and Michael, we had Anna, we had Teresa, and there's another number of folks out there. And also,
And
actually, to
kids.
Tom Barr, his daughter actually wanted a bike, and she donated it back so somebody else could get
Aw,
it. So that was very nice
nice.
of Tom to do that.
Yes, and
So we appreciate that.
Yeah, huge shout out again to our senior volunteers, to
Yes.
our buildings and grounds staff, our town hall team that was participating, as well as we also had a number of students from Royce C. Ketchum High School give volunteer hours from the National Honor Society. So it was a great community effort, and definitely a special shout out to the new Hackensack Fire Company for lending their volunteers and being out there as well. It was again a great community partnership.
So one last thing, Steve Frazier, I don't know if you had an opportunity to take a look at did you want to talk about the bleachers tonight? Are you ready to talk about the bleachers tonight, or you want to wait till the following meeting?
I've got that information I put on your desk there. So I can-
Yeah, if you can come up and talk, that'd be great.
Yeah, Steve, if you can just come on up to the podium there. I know that we've been talking a lot about bleachers, and by way of background on this, folks, we are trying to catch up with a lot of our preventative maintenance issues, and we have a lot of bleachers out and about in our community that could use a little TLC. So Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Frazier, please take it.
Yeah, I was asked to look at 4-row bleachers. 15 foot is the length of the bleachers that we have in our parks. So I spent quite a bit of time searching, and I was only able to find one set of bleachers that matches what we're looking for. And it's in front of you here. It's 4-row bleacher, has aluminum seats and galvanized steel frame, 15 foot long, and it's 4 tiers high. And the price on that is $25.41 per unit.
How many were you looking at, Steve?
I don't know
27?
what, I think it's 27.
Yeah.
I'm going off the top of my head for that.
That's what
That
you
was a
said last
previous discussion.
It was 27.
That would replace all of the bad ones we have left.
So the other thing, I think you and I talked about a company called Belson. Looks like they can do, depending on what size we get, if you get a 15-foot 4-tier like you have here, a little less expensive, $23.69. I believe you called them. And then if you go a little smaller and you do a 12-foot, it's about $2,000, but I think that's probably too small.
Well, the one that you're referring to is not galvanized steel, it's
Okay.
painted, and is going to require maintenance
That's
going
good to know.
forward. So it's, you know, I'm
She said,
I'm looking at
they told me it was
something that's
industrial grade, so you know better than I do.
Yeah, I was pretty specific in what I was looking for here.
Okay.
Thank you. And Mr. Frazier, too, this quote that you just provided us on the dais here, this is from the Sourcewell State contract, or no?
No,
Okay.
the Sourcewell contracts seem to cover just stadium seating.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't find any bleachers available through them.
So right now, you have, I think, what, 3 or 2 different estimates already?
Well, again, the only estimate that I could find of what we are actually
this one.
looking for is this here.
Is this it?
I mean, I spent 3 hours looking to find something, and this was the only set of bleachers that I could find that has aluminum seating with galvanized frames.
Okay.
What's the lifespan?
I'm sorry?
What is the lifespan of these bleachers?
Longer than you and I are going to be around. I would say probably 50 years or more.
The galvanized steel. All
Thank
right.
you.
Is
So-
this something we wanted to move on tonight?
So I think we want to,
I was gonna say, if it's up to the board, we can either look at this and have a formal resolution at the next meeting.
hey, can we just
Considering
take
both
one more
quotes?
look and
Yes,
see? Just see if you can
absolutely.
find one. I'd like to have a second vendor to, nothing personal, but just a second one. I know you spent a lot of time, but let's just do it to satisfy the control and our procurement requirements.
I'm not going to find anything with these specifications. I
And Steve,
exhausted-
if that's the case,
Yeah,
just let
I
us
mean,
know, and
yeah.
I think that it would be better off for the town board just to get a grasp on this, and we can have
That's
a
fine with me.
resolution ready by the first meeting in April.
Yes, I
All
agree.
right? Because we don't want to keep belaboring the point here. We want to
Right.
move on. So if that's the case, we'll have a resolution, we'll move on.
Did they give you any kind of lead time on these, Steve? Or,
I didn't go into that with it. I just, you know, was trying to come up with what you were looking
because
for.
everything's like 18 months these days, you know?
Excuse me. I can say the ones that did have availability posted said like a 4 to 6 week lead
Oh,
time.
okay.
I didn't look at this one specifically to see, you know, where we would be with that.
All right.
So if we did this, it's roughly 69,000 if you took 27. So I know you have 10,000 in your budget, so it's about 57,000 we'd have to take out of B fund balance probably if you're looking at it.
B Fund or Parkland Trust. but
Parkland
yeah.
Trust, one of the two.
All right, well, here, we'll have those conversations, and
Thank you,
and we'll go
Steve.
from there.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, Councilman Casella, anything else for new business?
No, we're good.
Perfect. Again, to echo my colleague's point, we had an amazing Easter egg hunt out at Robinson Lane Baseball Complex yesterday. The weather is definitely a little chilly out there, but did not stop 1,000 children from coming out,
It did not snow.
and it did not snow. Town Clerk Paoloni knows a little bit about snow from this weekend. He was upstate. But I would like to point out that we still have 2 other Easter egg hunts in our community coming up this Saturday, one at the Village of Wappingers Falls at Mizzier Park, and also down in the Chelsea Hamlet. They're hosting their Easter egg hunt as well. So we still have 2 more Easter egg hunts coming up this Saturday. I hope that our residents can definitely take advantage of those great opportunities there. At our last board meeting, again, we authorized moving forward with the purchase of Reese Park expansion, the annex property there, and today we just authorized costs incurred with that property. If anyone's driven by the site on 90, you'll see that the house is now leveled and cleared. This is paving the way for the first expansion of our town's park system in 25 years, and we're very, very excited to open this new trailhead to Reese Park, this new access point. Again, that house that was there was a safety concern, as everyone noted. I believe every member of the town board at some point was also out there at the site to see the demolition process. Right. And again, thank you to my colleagues on the board for their support, their initiative, in also getting this done as well. So great new things coming on the horizon, and a lot more to come as well, especially when it comes to our parks and recreation programs and facilities. So with that, we have no reason to go into executive session tonight. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This was one of our fastest meetings, so thank you.